It may turn out to be one of the most dynamic elections we'll have over time. While the jostle for votes continue across the country, politicians are bent on leaving no stone unturned in this marathon. Well, little wonder they call themselves eternal optimists. But in spite of the attendant circumstances, chief of which is the collection of the PVCs, as they are referred, many of the electorate are not giving up either on the collection. Good evening. Welcome to Nigeria 2015. I'm Chamberlain Oso. Political parties at this time will gladly welcome any prediction in their favor about the forthcoming elections. Well, if wishes were horses, politicians might ride. How are the electorate, even the politicians themselves, prepping for these elections? Our team of correspondents are on hand to bring us up to the minute on the goings-on at their location.
I am Pius Angbo, standing by to bring you updates on the political development in Nasarawa State.
Well, we'll get more of them, but don't forget that our web team again provides several platforms for you to participate and get your voice heard on the program. You can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria 2015. Well, please use the handle on your screen. It could be at Channels TV or at Chamberlain Oso. Well, there you can tell us, in the light of all that is going on around you, if you also demand debate or not. As a matter of fact, Nigerians demand debate is the hashtag that is trending at this time. Well, if you have comments or questions, do send us an email, nigeria2015@channelstv.com. Well, joining us tonight, Tokunbo Wahab is a member of the All Progressive Congress. Well, the conversation over participation in a debate or not continues to hog the headlines. Now, let me even give you a little bit of background about debates across the world and how they've played out over time. We'll start off with this in 1858. I mean, quite a while. Yeah, you may agree on that one. But you know, at this time, these two gentlemen, Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas, they were the ones who came head to head. It was face-to-face, as a matter of fact. That debate which involved both of them, where they talked about issues that had to do with why they were vying for office at that senatorial level. But you know what? After this one, we then went on to the very next one, which we'll get to see here, and that was in 1960. In 1960, John Kennedy and Richard Nixon. Now, this happens to be a different sort of debate because it turns out to be the first of those general elections which was televised. Now, let me even take you back to the previous one, which was in 1858. Now, the difference between that one and this one was this. It didn't have any moderator. These two gentlemen, I mean, Lincoln actually, he opened up with an hour of telling the people at that time what his plans and programs were. And then afterward, Stephen Douglas took an hour and a half to debate about what he had and his rebuttal. It was unique. So thereafter, after 18, then in 1960, so this, whilst it was televised, yes, it had the moderator, they had all of those rules, how they usually agree with it, and then eventually they went on and agreed on how they had to do it. But don't forget, the reason why they have some of this, even tell us that they target some of those undecided voters, and who knows, you know, when politicians always vie for those votes, they tussle to ensure that they get as much undecided electorate, even the decided ones on their side. So after the debate in 1960 between John Kennedy and Richard Nixon, well, it's not happening now. Yeah, there you go. In 1994, this was also dramatic. Ted Kennedy and Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, he was a young chap, he was boisterous, he had all going for him. So Ted Kennedy at that time too was facing one of the toughest re-elections at that time. Yes, he was a senator, but eventually Mitt Romney gave him a run for his money. But Ted Kennedy pulled one more hat up his sleeves and he eventually won that. So the thing is, it was that spoke about so much of their plans, and they eventually decided what they had to do. But you know, this UK elections 2010, it was huge. It was big. I mean, it grabbed all the headlines at that time. Dramatic, as you may call it, as they referred to it at that time. So they weren't used to having those kind of debates, a parliamentary system, yes, even though they talk about their plans and programs in parliament. But at this time, it was a unique kind of arrangement. But David Cameron eventually having to form this, they had a hung parliament. And so Nick Clegg and David Cameron forming the government at that time. So he, incumbent at the time, Gordon Brown, eventually lost out. Let's enter Nigeria, gentlemen, ladies, as a matter of fact. In 1993, this was huge for Nigeria at that time. It was all dramatic. So many people could still remember how exactly it went on. Even the sick tune at that time. Many still go back to YouTube, but you need to see the hits that it had as much as today, as a matter of fact, now that we're talking about debates and hashtag Nigerians demand debate is trending. So here, Moshood Abiola and Bashir Tofa went head-to-head between those two political parties. Incidentally, we're almost having the same kind of scenario. And they were vocal about what they wanted, but as dramatic and as unique as it was, Nigerians eventually, I'm not sure they'll forget this one in a long time. But coming back to the recent days now, let's flip up to the next one. Now this, you know, this was part of the latest of the installments, which is generating all of that talking point about who participated, who didn't participate in the debate. Now, yes, you see these three, they weren't the only candidates that were vying for positions. As a matter of fact, if I stand back a little bit, you get to see this empty podium. Someone was supposed to be there, but he didn't. So eventually, these three gentlemen went on with that debate. And then this very next one, this was in 2011, as a matter of fact, but if you pop 2011, he, the incumbent, President Jonathan, eventually also, whilst attending that debate, he was all by himself, as we could see there. So you have this, and that podium all empty. And then eventually he attended that debate. So as much as so many people still talk about debates and what should happen today, but then let me show you this next one. Everyone looks on now. This, just like a typology of what Nigerians are waiting. Some tell us, don't hold your breath. But then, you see, they're all looking. A big question mark hangs over the presidential debate for this year. Will it happen or not? You know how some auctioneers just tell you, going? Some say it might as well have gone because, I mean, time is just ticking away, thick and fast, as a matter about whether or not that is going to hold. And that's why that hashtag is trending on Twitter, Nigerians saying they demand debate. But is it so much about all of this debate? Let's even take you to what transpired not long ago, which is still evergreen in some memories. Take a look at this.
Had raised or answered was, what is the marginal cost of producing 1 liter of petrol in the refineries? That is the first question I will ask them. They bring the books, they put it up to the Nigerians, because see, if they are selling the product below their cost of production, then somebody is really being taken up the garden path. There's no businessman who can stay in business when it's not covering his cost from his proceeds of sales. They have not answered that question at all. Talking about the price in Lomé, the price in Outer Mongolia, is not even the issue to start with. What is the cost of production of 1 liter? The marginal cost. I will look at that. I will look at that. There are other economic indicators and indices in Nigeria, which one was then used as a broad parameter with a view to fixing the price for the meantime. See, what made the price look ridiculous has been the devaluation of the naira.
That he will immediately raise the price of fuel to a level whereby, you know, the price will be over the production cost. And what I'm saying that Nigerians can ill afford at this time, when they have enormous hardships to cope up with. You see, with the problem with fuel, it's not like natural or NEPA. Once you increase the price of petrol, a lot of other prices are going to go up immediately. Transport prices price is going to go up, food price is going to go up, other fuels will go up, even cosmetics will go up. So that is the problem with that kind of prices at this point in time. And I think when people talk about petroleum price, they have to take this particular issue into account.
So they have one of the major talking points in the history of this country's presidential system of governance that we practice in our democracy, how those two candidates eventually came forward, debated, took themselves on to the delight of many, as a matter of fact, as they say it now. But we're going back to that topic. Should there be a debate? Is there so much talk about all of those? That's what we'll be talking about now. And Mr. Tokunbo Wahab joins us this morning, and I beg your pardon, this evening. What a day it's been. That tells you what we're going through here. Thank you for coming on this evening.
My pleasure.
What about this talk of debate while your presidential candidate not attending? Well, much as, yes, you've cited your reasons, but you know, people are still talking about all of this. Now, look at that hashtag trending, Nigerians demand debate. What do you think?
Chamberlain, do we have a culture for debate in this country? I think I listened to this director of strategy for my party, Mr. Dele Alaki, yesterday morning on Sunrise, and he did say, we are willing to attend the debates. However, I won't put my candidates on a platform that is prejudiced. From the beginning, I've been issued that my candidates will attend a debate that has credible panelists. It's clear. And I am amazed when people come up with this issue that let General Buhari come forward for a debate. 4 years ago, I'm glad he just showed it. The incumbent never showed up for that debate. There was no EU and cry. In 2003, the incumbent then, General Obasanjo, never showed up for a debate. There was no EU and cry. 2007, Yar'Adua never showed up for a debate, by the way. However, we are not saying our candidates, General Muhammadu Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo, are not going to attend any debate. All we are saying is, give us a credible platform, and they will attend the debates. And Nigerians will see the stuff they are both made of.
So what about those who are interpreting your party citing history and those who did not attend? Some of them may say, look, are you trying to justify your not attending? And if you're talking about change, shouldn't you, irrespective of how it might have happened previously, set a different precedent?
Chamberlain, we are willing, we are ready to attend a debate. Let's make that very clear. However, we are saying, for us to attend a debate, let the panelists be independent, objective panelists. The one that was supposed to come up today, we have intelligence information that, by the way, these panelists had, with due respect, leaked the questions to a certain candidate. And we have every reason to believe that. Interestingly, 2 members of that panel, for some days now, have been running down our candidates. So you want that candidate to go forward and sit down at the panel before them for a debate. They have already taken a stand. So for us, General Buhari and Professor Osinbajo will attend the debates, but give us a credible platform. Channels, we've given you the challenge. Go ahead as channels. Call in a debate.